What is going on, everybody? Crypto's here. Hope you're all having an amazing day today. Now, looking at the Bitcoin chart, if you've been following me on Twitter, you will know that I keep mentioning how I find it very common for downtrends to end with falling wedge patterns, as we can see has happened in the past many times. Now, we are seeing the same thing happening on the Bitcoin price chart. However, we have been monitoring this for a couple of days. I spotted this pattern when the price was around here, and I was predicting that it would be very bullish if we could see that breakout right over here. We can see that wick right here in the chart. That was right before the Bitcoin and altcoin prices just really collapsed. And I thought this was the breakout. But as always, guys, if you follow my rules, you know, you don't get excited until you get a full candle body close above a resistance. You would have not gotten wrecked. But of course, anybody that was just, you know, waiting for, you know, that price action to develop eventually did get wrecked as well. But it would have been much more painful if anybody had bought that top right there. So we wait for candle closes for confirmation. Now, I also keep on mentioning how it is very common for these falling wedge patterns to break to the downside before eventually breaking back in and then playing out. I kept on mentioning this, and this seems to be what is playing out right now. Now, we can see that this happened right here, but it was only for one day, and then on the following day it did just get back right away. But I have seen this happen many times where it does go below for a couple of days and then price rises back inside of the falling wedge before the breakout. Now, so as we can see, we have the Bitcoin daily candle closing in about 2 hours right now, and this daily candle will close outside of the resistance, and we'll also have the new daily candle that will open outside, which means technically that we could be getting a Bitcoin breakout very, very soon. So okay, so these levels, these are the most important levels I'm looking at right now. Look how significant this resistance is, guys. It acted as a pivotal moment many times on the Bitcoin chart. And so right here is one that I'm watching, and this blue diagonal resistance is the next one, guys. So I think that as soon as Bitcoin can really reclaim these two resistance levels, I think we will definitely be working our way back towards 50K. Now, actually, before talking about 50K, let's talk about the total crypto market cap. Now, we can see on the Bitcoin chart that we were in this falling wedge pattern, we broke below, and then we came back inside of it. Now, we had the same thing forming on the total crypto market cap chart. Here's our falling wedge pattern, and we're seeing it's a much different scenario right now, guys. So the price did break down, but it is delaying. It is really falling back way behind the Bitcoin price chart. This happens many times. This is actually why the Bitcoin dominance has been pretty bullish for the past couple of days. Bitcoin has been dominating, and we can see that the total market cap, you know, if it was really following Bitcoin, it should have been already back inside of this falling wedge. So Bitcoin is still in charge right now. There is a little delay, but I think eventually, as long as Bitcoin gets that breakout, then everything else will follow through. So total market cap is below a huge resistance, guys. But I mean, we did not really just collapse after. Normally, you know, you would see just a retest, and then just prices would collapse. But this is not the case right now. We collapsed, and then we came right back, right below this resistance, and we are consolidating right now, guys. So I think the chances of breaking back above it are much more likely. And so now let's just get right back to Bitcoin. So what does it mean? Let's say Bitcoin does get this breakout. For me, guys, there are many ways we can look at, you know, what determines an uptrend or a downtrend. One of them, you know, following the Dow theory is, you know, higher highs and higher lows, which is very simple. I mean, technically, Bitcoin, this is a lower low. If we're looking at, you know, comparing to the September lows, Bitcoin definitely went lower. So that is already a big warning. And I know some people will say, oh, we're still printing higher highs and higher lows because this was the low and then we made a higher high here, which is true. We did not go below this low right here that we printed in July, but we are still below the price action that was developing in September. So to me, this is still a lower low, and what I think is most likely going to happen right now, I am expecting a lower high to be printed on the Bitcoin chart right now, guys. So okay, so there's higher highs and higher lows, and now the next thing to determine whether you are in an uptrend or a downtrend is the 21-week moving average. So let's flip to the weekly chart, guys, and this is the 21-week moving average. So Bitcoin has fallen below the 21-week moving average. It did go for a retest, and then it confirmed a breakdown, and price is still struggling. But now it seems like it's working its way back towards it. Now we can very much be in a bear market. That does not mean that we cannot see a nice rally, guys. The 21 MA, I always say on my Twitter account, it is a magnet. Prices always go back to revisit the 21 MA, guys. Once we are so far extended below or even above it, you can see we go back down to retest it. Whether, we bounce and keep making higher highs, that's a possibility. Also, it could just be resistance. You break below and then you retest it and then you keep on falling. So until Bitcoin gets back above the 21-week moving average, my assumption is still that this is a downtrend and Bitcoin will get rejected somewhere around, I think, 50 to 53,000. This is going to be my price target for Bitcoin. And if it can, confirm a couple weeks, it closes above the 21-week moving average, we will see that the trend is actually shifting. Then maybe I will start being open to, much higher Bitcoin price targets, guys. So now let's go on back to the daily chart. So let's take the Fibonacci retracement. Oh, sorry, let me change the color. Let me put that in white. Okay, so I'm actually looking at maybe somewhere around the 61.8 as the possible Bitcoin target. 55K, actually not exactly. I think I'm looking more around, to be kind of more specific, I really like this range for my price target for Bitcoin, guys. So I think Bitcoin can revisit somewhere around 53,000. If we flip back on the weekly chart, the 21 MA right now is around 50,000, but I don't know, who knows, maybe we could see a huge wick that touches somewhere around the low 50s, and then we would see the weekly candle just close back below the 21-week moving average. I don't know yet, guys. We're gonna actually be taking this day by day and see how the price action is developing, but I mean, until we really start printing much higher prices, get in the 50s, even touch close to the 60s, I mean, I think the assumption is still that the trend is to the downside. Now, just one quick altcoin example, XRP. No, not this one, actually. I have the XRP chart right here, guys. XRP is also in this daily falling wedge, broke down below, and now I am expecting the price to retest this falling wedge, so which would take it around 69 cents. There are many important levels for XRP, guys. I know I keep on saying 130 is the level, $1 is the level, which is true, but if you just look at the history, there are so many levels that are important, and let me give you the main ones right now. So 70, extremely important. 79 to 80, also significantly important. We have also a pretty nice resistance around 87, but it's definitely not as important as the two previous ones. And finally, I think the $1 level is really the big level that will, determine really a shift in the trend, guys. So this is the final level that I'm looking at. Of course, there's also $1.30, but I think $1 is the most important one right now that we need to get back above, and it will definitely increase the chances that XRP does go on another leg and prices actually go fully parabolic, guys. But again, like I say, I think the trend is still to the downside. We have to be, we have to be very careful so we don't get burned and we don't, find ourselves bag holding, because if this enters into a bear market, you will see your altcoins be down 80 to 90%. And I've been through it before, guys. Definitely not something that I would like to go through again. So I am watching Bitcoin, and hopefully if this does play out, on the Bitcoin chart, we do get something and we see prices go somewhere close to the low 50s, I think that this is the moment where altcoins need to go parabolic. So if we don't see all these altcoin versus Bitcoin chart pairings just start, going parabolic anytime soon, if we see Bitcoin really going to 42, 43, 44, and we really don't see any just violent upward reaction from altcoins, I mean, I don't know, guys. I think it's a very bad sign, and maybe we should not expect any just crazy price targets for altcoins. Maybe we should just expect that this will just be an opportunity to get like an exit pump before the start of a bear market. So this is where I stand right now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please follow my Twitter for more content and more updates following the things that I mentioned in the videos. Subscribe and drop a comment. It will be greatly appreciated, guys. See you on the next one.